Hi, I'd like to take you through the general setup of creating an assignment in Classkick. So you first want to sign in with Google, the top link, and it'll show you your dashboard. So when you think of on the left-hand side, when you're in the assignments tab, when it's grayed out versus, for example, the roster, I'm going to toggle back to assignments. You'll go up to the green circle with the white plus, and it'll allow you to create a new blank assignment or create one from a file. So this would be an example of if you had, say, a PDF from your phonics program or your math program, anything, right? Even literacy, right? If we had one of those assessments and we were a progression, we wanted to have a PDF of that. You could hit create from file, and then you can see my memes, but you can also pull it from here. On the other hand, it doesn't show it from Drive, so we might have to take screenshots, which would help. But you can also just use a blank assignment startup, and it always just denotes to 3 blank pages. But to give you an idea of what this overview, like what does this screen provide us? What are the things that maybe are most important to add, or where are my options? So as you can see in the top toolbar, we are in the edit mode of this assignment. You can simply title it here, and if you wanted to add a subtitle here, you can as well. Over here, you can denote which subject or subjects this assignment relates to, and same with grades. If this is just an assignment between you and your students, you can keep it private, but a lot of teachers are finding great resources within each other. So maybe clicking share it is a nice resource because at the end of this, you can give your colleague a link to this assignment. Now, the nice thing about that is that it's not the assignment that your students will see. It will be a new, fresh assignment for her to share, or him or her, that is, to share with their class. Okay, so those are the main couple of the ones at the top. I just want to really quickly, this is where you could share it after you're done, export it to PDF, etc. Some other options there. I'm going to tap on the first slide to really get engaged with the features on each slide to develop the assignment. Again, if you wanted to bring up a PDF, you could do that from here. I don't know necessarily why you would maybe use the camera, but you have the option to bring up something from the computer. And again, it doesn't have your drive, so maybe a screenshot would be best. When this arrow is grayed out, it's showing that it's in the select mode. But notice over here you have your pen mode and even, I want to say highlighter, yep, or eraser. I'm really comparing a lot of this mentally to Seesaw. If you wanted to add a text box, you can type your text within it. If I could spell. Once you are done, I'm going to toggle away from it, and then I can move it. I can center it, whatever. If I don't like it, I can even delete. This is for a line, and it just mentions that as soon as you choose it, then you have that option there. All right, I'm going to delete it, however. One of the more important ones are having a link, possibly. So if you have a YouTube link that helps support your instruction, the camera icon we talked about, recording. This is really great, again, similar to Seesaw. This is both can be used for students and teachers. So as you're developing the assignment, you might be recording your voice for directions. Maybe you're reading aloud instructions for a test. Whatever it might be. But once that, I'll go ahead and do a pre-example. So here is my recording. Then I would go ahead and hit stop and save. And it reminds me a little bit of Book Creator, where this arrow comes up that I'm able to manipulate. Unfortunately, in Seesaw, we're not able to move it. But then it also, if you wanted to later, you can, of course, delete that too. But you can have your recording there. This is, again, a little bit more advanced. And you could add multiple choice questions in here as well. We'll talk a little bit about the stickers in a second, but something nice while you're getting your format ready is the background. So if you wanted to change the entire color, you can, or thinking about what content area it is, you have some different options, be it grid paper or lines, even some graphic organizers. These other ones just have nice borders. You could even import your own. Okay, so again, if you have something like that on hand. So as you toggle through, this toolbar right here explains, what page you're on. So if you wanted to duplicate, like I'm going to go back right up here. If I wanted to keep this first slide that has the blue and it has a recording, maybe I wanted to keep it like that. I am just going to duplicate it. Excuse me. That might actually, so sorry, that might expedite that is. Had to take a little drink break there, but that might expedite your lesson creation by using this duplicate. Could copy all, delete, whatever it might be. You can't even reorder. If I were to hold down the second slide, this black bar appears to allow me to rearrange as needed. As you might assume, you would hit the green plus to add pages as well. The last nice feature you can consider before I go into assigning would be point value. So I want to bring you up to the right-hand corner. Right now, this is 0 points, but maybe you had, like for example, one of these I did our benchmark weekly assessments in here, and so maybe you had 2 points per word and you had 1 word per page. Therefore, every page was 2 points. I might actually put this in when I'm looking at all of my pages at once, and I can just go in here, hit 2, 2, 2, 2. It could be different every page. Some pages don't have to have points. It doesn't matter. That's up to you and your assessment or assignment you're creating. The nice thing about this is, though, when you go to the grading aspect of it, Classkick does a great job of color coding it for you, so you can see how well they did per page and even per assignment. So say if everything was out of like 2 in this case, or maybe you had it out of 4, thinking of a 4, 3, 2, and a 1, you could have the 4 being green, and then it kind of progresses down to red for, needing to group those kids. And you can do that when you're looking at view work. But just to wrap up creating an assignment, once this is made, you're going to have a Classkick code generated. So I'm going to actually go to assign next, and it's first going to ask you to assign it to a roster. In this same place where you found this screencast is another one on how to create your roster. I'm just going to pretend and give it to my sample roster. Because I did assign some grades on each slide, I am going to go ahead and toggle over for grades to be taken and for them to mark that up accordingly. However, you don't have to have that on. If you want to have students help each other, it's a really great feature to explore. You could keep that on. Maybe it's a test, and we're going to turn that off. Hiding the assignment means maybe I've created a lot of assignments beforehand. I've done them over the weekend. I don't want students to get into them yet they have my Classkick, my library, that they can access my dashboard of assignments. I'm going to hide that until I'm ready to give it to them. Last lock will lock an assignment after you've given students a set amount of time. Usually this is another way to, I can't think of the word right now. We do it in Seesaw where we try to, I can't think of the word, but basically we're just trying to take an assignment off the viewing dashboard, if you will. But on the other hand, if it's a test as well and you don't want students to go back to their work, maybe you're going to lock it. Last but not least is the code. So a lot of us have been running into some issues where if we only give students this 6-digit code, it takes them to basic. As you can see here, it takes them to basic, which doesn't help anyone because we have a pro account now. Instead, go down here, click copy link. You can insert this link in Schoology, Seesaw, or your daily schedule, however you want students to access it, and that'll take them directly to this assignment. Once they've been given the code and they're actually engaged in it, you would see these thumbnails for each student as long as, so this assignment had 5 slides. That's why this assignment has 5 thumbnails per student. Now notice again, we have the 2 points per slide. I could decide if I want to just only look at slide 1 for every student, or back to all slides. Once they've been graded, that's when you can go ahead and even filter. Oh, not that filter. I'm sorry. This filter where you could do grades highest to lowest or lowest to highest. When you're actually in there, this is where if you're now in the mindset of grading something and a student had something incorrect. So for example, if the spelling word was crank, but they spelled it this way, maybe you wanted to give feedback verbally, and that's when you could add a recording. But also, maybe you could do both. You can add a sticker. Some of the stickers that are preloaded are about adding text evidence and answering a literature question, which may work. However, for this, we want them to go back and really think to themselves about which blend at the beginning of the word they want to look at. So I might actually make a very specific new sticker and say, check your beginning blend. Or I don't want to say anything that's specific, and I might just say, go back and listen to the word again. I had already made this one just before as well. Decide which sticker you want to use. Why is this not working? I should just be able to say, there it is. And now check your beginning blend. And if many students have the same error, instead of you typing the same phrase over and over and over, now you have one sticker that could achieve that. But again, if you wanted to add that audio support as well, you can, as well. So the grading just goes through in that process. So in general, there's lots of flexibility, and a lot of people start from either looking at their manual and saying to themselves, what, for example, like math, what do I need to achieve? What are our practice problems? And they'll either type in those practice problems on the blank slides, or they will take screenshots of the different practice activities that they want students to practice themselves. Remember, this can be engaging, and we can bring in some videos and some of our own voice as well. Last but not least, this could be done asynchronously or synchronously. So depending on when that code is given out, if you're over a Zoom, you can be live with the students and even verbally interacting with them, bringing up one kid's slide as an example for all, whatever. However, on the other hand, if it's something asynchronous, when you're looking later on, you can see who's already began and how far along they are and engage with some feedback during that moment as well. You have that complete autonomy. The last thing about sharing, so I don't know if I think this was just the example. The share with a colleague would just be this apple, and then you could type in their email. It's faster. However, if we hit link, copy link, and then share with a colleague. So just a few features about creating a new assignment. The last thing I wanted to show you before I let you go is that there is an assignment library similar to Seesaw. Now, they may not be as specific as we want, but you can narrow the search based on the subject, grade, and or even a topic. Of course, this is slow to pull up, but you have some options, and you have some ranges of grade levels here. And then you could even type in a title or description to narrow that search even more. The nice thing about this is that you can, it's a little old, let's go to the spelling test. You can modify this. You can send it out. Once you've taken it from that assignment library, it is no longer connected to that previous author. So you can feel confident to know that you're not disrupting what his or her students will see. So now that it's in this mode, you've clicked on it, maybe you've taken a quick preview and say, yeah, this is a pretty good, like even look at her cute ending congratulations sign. So maybe I'd say I want to copy this assignment. The other option you have is I want to share this with a colleague to say, maybe is this what we're thinking? Do we want to use this? I'm going to hit copy assignment, and it's going to pop up into, I think it was spelling. It was the spelling quiz. I'm going to click on that. Yep, here it is. The nice thing is now you're still in that edit mode, as we talked about at the very beginning of the screencast. So you can, once again, move things around if you want. You can add a new slide and put that even if you wanted a header. You can change the point value system, right? Anything that is better for you. And then again, just double check if you wanted to make this viewable by a colleague, then you would hit shared. I hope this has been helpful. The other last thing to mention would be about Classkick. On their website at the bottom, they have a wonderful bank of both articles and videos. You can even check them out on YouTube for tutorials that might be more specific to what you are looking for. It's down here in help and resources. I guess I could have just stayed where I was. I made more work for myself, but taking a look at the different things, like even knowing we have Classkick Pro, this guy over here would be helpful, learning about the features, getting started, right, or beyond the basics. Those are a couple to even start with. Really great stuff in here to check out as well. Take care.